ماشي.
Okay, ይሰማል?
ይሰማል።
Okay, ዊክ ቱ አንዳንድ ቻሌንጆች ነበሩ። ያው ከቻሌንጅ ከቻሌንጅ የሆነ ቻሌንጅ ስገጥም ከቻሌንጅ ትማራለህ። አትሊስት የሆነ ነገር ከቻሌንጅ ታገኛለህ። አሁን በእኔ በኩል በተለይ ዩዘር ኢንጌጅመንት እነዚህ ኦብጀክቲቭ ሲሰራ when I was aggregated metrics customer ID and report the top 10 customer per engagement. When I was raise the code and run it and push to GitHub, it takes high storage, almost 11 megabytes. When I allowed it to see the result, it says it is unable to render or to show the result. This challenge is due to the highest storage problem, or it takes the storage or the space it required to take the online access or from URL access. But after or the finally, I have solved that error by using different techniques, by reducing the parameter from user engagement analysis or the metrics to show the user engagement analysis, and finally I get the best result from it. Now I have understood many techniques from challenge.
Okay, thank you, Hassan. That's nice. So I think we have to reflection from past week, so we can start this week's challenge. And so we are happy that we reached to week 3, and I hope that it's all informative and resourceful. So we can start the week 3 challenge. Can you see my screen? Since I'm not going to see your emojis and other stuffs, please unmute your mic and you can stop me anywhere else. So when we come to this week's challenge, as expected, we have another challenge, which is the Alpha Care insurance solution problem. So they want to advertise their insurance company in market to South Africa. Then for that one, they want you to analyze risk and the predictive analytics for the car insurance. And this company is working or focused on insurance giving in 40 companies, so for individuals. And so in order for the company to be profitable, they want to assess risk and to predict the price based on the premium price, based on the risks that they have analyzed, and they want to advertise and be competitive in the South African market. So you are a data analyst or a data analyst team, and who will help in this marketing analysis and providing these insights for the insurance claim data. So basically what you are going to do is you have to identify or low risk customers, or who are those like high risk customer and who are low risk customer, and those low risk customers are the one which you want to attract them. That means if they are low risk, so if they didn't make any accident or if they didn't recover any insurance claim, so that makes your company profitable, as well as that makes those customers advantageous for your business. So in order to attract those customers, you need to have an attraction mechanism for those low risk customer base, whether you are by lowering the premium or by having other opportunities for them. You can have it as an advantage based on the research that you have made. So, and this, the core objective is you have to analyze and understand the patterns in the insurance claims and premiums, then identifying high risk and versus low risk customer based on their characteristics, and how you can optimize this pricing, like to adjust the pricing strategy and based on the customer need, and performing A/B testing on that one to evaluate the effectiveness of the different features that you plan. Like if you say that most of the customers in urban area doesn't make accident or doesn't claim insurance, so you can have that as a hypothesis and you can prove based on your analysis. So there are three key components in this challenge. The first one is understanding what's the insurance business by itself and how can you translate it into data analytics problem. That means insurance by itself have its own terminologies and its own mechanisms to understand the business itself. Let's say the cars have this and that. If the model is this and that, they are more likely to make accidents, or there are several factors that are there. So you need to understand and know what does this insurance business look like. Then performing this A/B testing. So once you understand the ecosystem, then you can have this A/B testing, understanding this A/B testing, why you are performing, because you have a group A and group B, so you can have different treatment for them, and based on that you can maybe reduce the premium payment for the customers, those who are in group A or in B. So you can have different kind of assumption, like whether you accept the null hypothesis or reject this null hypothesis. We have put as a sample for null hypothesis here, like the risk difference across the multiple province or zip codes or gender, or you can take by car type. There are multiple. So one of them, like for example, we have the risk difference between registering this woman or men. You can see it's significant change there also. In addition to the A/B testing, you will perform the machine learning model development, and you will test, you predict the price based on that. So the optimal premium value will be predicted by setting these features. When you use the A/B testing, you can test within a certain characteristic, like either male or female, or either in their country or province, or in their zip code. You can compare. But for when you think of machine learning, you broaden your observation, and you can have features from multiple dimensions. Then you can implement that one in the as a machine learning model, and it can predict the optimal premium value based on what's there. So the main motivation for this week's challenge is to improve your ability in handling this complex data, and to adapt the challenge and be creative, think creative, and being having the skills that are essential for this insurance analytics, and to understand more on hypothesis testing and predictive analysis. So as usual, we have data. So the data contains this kind of structure. The data is historical data from February 2020, February 14 to August 2015. So you can find the data there, and it consists about the insurance policy, the transaction date, column about clients that tells you about the client's location, the insured car so far, and column about the plans, plus the payment and claim. So after learning this model, this all things, what would be the outcome is having to analyze complex data plus performing EDA using machine learning pipelines, and gaining this valuable understanding on how you can model this statistical modeling, how you can apply the statistical testing mechanisms like D-test or T-test or chi-square test, or any test which is related to machine statistical thinking. So you will have an understanding about that and how to perform A/B testing, and data versioning is the other learning outcome. So we have competencies as usual. And the key dates for this week will be the coming Friday, which is December 27, will be the interim submission, and Tuesday will be the final submission. Since interim is the one that shows your progress for your facilitators, so please provide your interim report on time as much as you can, because they are essential that you are keeping engaged in, you are on track to the final submission. And when we start from the task one is about Git as usual, Git plus basic exploratory analysis. And it can start from you can reuse the Git repository that structure that you have in previous weeks, but separate new repository. And first task will include the data understanding or exploring and visualization of data to find patterns, trends inside. And you can start like thinking statistically to validate the hypothesis or to formulate the hypothesis on the task one. So basically, you can do the data summarization, data quality assessment for missing value, univariate analysis, multivariate analysis, data comprehension, data comparison, and outlier detection. Basic ADA stuffs can be done on the task one. And on the task two, you need to set up data version control. That means DVC. And this is similar to the code that the GitHub. We use GitHub for code versioning, and we use MLflow or weight and bias for machine learning model versioning. So why this versioning is necessary? Because it keeps you your track that you have changed this data for this training, you have changed this, you have changed that. Since you are going to do multiple analysis, multiple comparison, so better to version your data. The version one will be comparing this men and women, version two will compare state province, version three will compare zip codes. So versioning your data like that will help and facilitate your analysis tasks that will help you to achieve the desired result with logged recording. So if you use this DVC to manage your dataset, and each version have its own tag and its own descriptions, that will make that will make it easier for you to report also. And if you came back and try to work on or try to improve on the other side, it's possible, or it will facilitate this. And task 3 is the A/B testing, where you test the hypothesis to identify any significant risk or profitability across multiple categories. That means by province or gender, if there is a gender advantage there, you can check it with your A/B testing. If there is a province or zip code advantage, you can check it with that one. So what's the risk or what's the profit margin with different zip codes? And you can start with this null hypothesis, whether to accept or to reject. And how you can perform this null hypothesis will be, you have maybe two groups. That means the one is the control group, the other is the test group. And on these two classes, you may need to select categories based on group A and B, and you must ensure that the two groups you have selected don't have this significant difference or anything that that is the feature you are testing. So applying statistical testing like either t-test or chi-square test would be the next step. What would be how on the chi-square test you are comparing the counts or categories, like you have data on gender or rural or urban. If you have in that case, you can use this chi-square test. Let's say if we can say that domains or and women's file claim are at the same rate, so you can count and you can return back the outcome. And if there is any relationship between these groups, it can tell you. When it comes to in t-test values, you can compare the average of the two groups. Average value within the sample size that you have is small or not. You can see the difference, like average premium that's asked on group A and higher than group B. You can start with this hypothesis and you can check the A/B testing will tell you that the average they have average statistical significance in this premium between group A and group B. Or the other thing is t-tests, which is the which will be used on the complex data that the current week we are having, and you can check on the average claim amount per area, like either in urban area or rural area. You can have this kind of hypothesis, and you can check if there is a significant difference in this proportion or the average for all the large data sets. So this is what we have for the A/B testing part, and the next is the statistical modeling. When we came to the statistical modeling, you are using a machine learning model, or you are trying to model this in machine learning model. That means you need to create a predictive model that will use either linear regression or decision tree or random forest or gradient distance boost, like XGBoost or any of the tools, and compare the result and use this model interpretability tools like shape and line to interpret the model's capability. So the same is data processing and data understanding. You have done on the task 1. It's more of additional on this one, and report what's the performance comparison between different models will be the other task that we will have on this week's challenge. So the last thing is the key dates. The interim submission will be on Friday and final submission will be on Tuesday, which is December 31. And as usual, we will have tutorials. And if you have any questions or which is not clear about the general concept of the challenge and related, okay, Hassan.
During the hypothesis testing or statically hypothesis given data set, if we use the alternative hypothesis, what is the problem? For example, when we accepting or rejecting the null hypothesis, we have to specify first the parameter or the data set parameter have no effect or relationship. But when we take the alternative hypothesis, there is at least one relationship. What is the problem if we use it to possible of hypothesis, null hypothesis with our alternative hypothesis?
So if I get your question, you are asking what's null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis?
እንትን ኦልተርናቲቭን ብንጠቀም ምን ችግር አለ? አሁን ለምሳሌ ሃይፖቴሲስ ስናደርግ ሁለቱም ኮንሰፕት መጠቀም እንችላለን። ኑል ሃይፖቴሲስ እና ኦልተርናቲቭ። ስታቲካሊ ሃይፖቴሲስ ስናደርግ ብዙ ኮንሰፕቶችን መጠቀም እንችላለን። ለምሳሌ ፒ ቫልዩ ቼክ እናደርጋለን። ለምሳሌ ኮንፊደንስ ሌቨል አለ ስታቲካሊ እንደዛ ኮንሰፕት ፒ ቫልዩ ካልኩሌት እናደርጋለን። ቲ ካልኩሌሽን እናያለን። ከዛ ኪው ስኬር አኖቫ ምናምን አለ። when we hypothesis or when we accept or reject the hypothesis, we have to check these parameters. But if we reject or accept the null hypothesis, in the alternative or in the ሌላ አማራጭ ኦልተርናቲቭ ብንጠቀም ምን ችግር አለ እዚህ ላይ?
ኦልተርናቲቭ ብትጠቀሙ ችግር የለውም። ሳምፕል ሳይዙን ለማጥረብ ያክል ነው። ያ ማለት ክሊር ለማድረግ ማለት ነል ሃይፖቴሲስ ማለት ኖ ኢፌክት ወይም በሁለቱ ግሩፕ መሀል ምንም አይነት ዲፍረንስ የለም ወይም ዲፍረንስ ሳይኖር ሲቀር የሚለውን አሰምሽን ነው የምንጠቀመው። ኦልተርናቲቭ ሲሆን ግን there is an effect and there is a difference between the two groups. ያ ማለት የሚታይ ዲፍረንስ አለ። ከሱ አሰምሽን ተነስተን ነው እሱን ግን ብላይንድ ማድረግ ነው እኛ የምንፈልገው። ስለዚህ that's why null hypothesis-ን ሪከመንድ ያደረግነው ማለት ነው።
ማሽን ለርኒንግ ሞዴል ዴቨሎፕመንት ላይ የሆነ አትሊስት አንድ ሁለት ሶስት አልጎሪዝም አለ መሰለኝ ሪግሬሽን ምናምን ሶስቱን ተጠቅመን ሃይ ፐርፎርማንስ ያለው አልጎሪዝም ነው የምንጠቀመው አይደለም። ሶስቱም እንጠቀም አንድ ማሽን ለርኒንግ አፕላይ ስናደርግ ሁሉም አልጎሪዝሞች ተመሳሳይ ፐርፎርማንስ ያመጡ አኩሬሲ ላይ ያያል። ሃይስት አኩሬሲ ያለውን ተጠቅመን ሞዴል ዴቨሎፕ እናደርጋለን።
ያ ማለት ምን ማለት ነው? ሞዴል ዴቨሎፕ ሲደረግ ለምሳሌ ሊኒየር ሪግሬሽንን ተጠቀምኩ እንዲህ አይነት አኩሬሲ ይመጣልኝ፣ ዲሲዥን ትሪን ተጠቀምኩ እንዲህ አይነት አኩሬሲ ይመጣልኝ፣ ዲስ ኢዝ ሪላያብል ነው ምናምን የሚለው ሞዴሉን ኢንተርፕሬት ኦር ኤክስፕሌን ኤቢሊቲውን ቼክ ታደርጋለህ። ከዛ ኢትስ ኤረር ምንድን ነው የሚባለው ኢረር ሪዛልት የተደረገው ይሄ ሪከርድ ያደረገው ኢረር አለ። ሶ ኢረር ከሱ ኮምፔር ይደረግና which one is the best that from the one that you have tried ነው። ስለዚህ ከአራቱ እዚህ ጋር አራት ናቸው ያሉት። ከአራቱ this one is performing best so we can use this in the production ብለህ ሪፖርትን መጨረስ ትችላለህ።
ዴቨሎፕ ያደረግነው ሞዴል እንልካለን ወይስ እንትን ብቻ እናደርጋለን? ኤክስፕሌን ብቻ እናደርጋለን? ዴቨሎፕ ያደረግነው ሞዴል ያ
ጊታብ ላይ መኖር አለበት። ያው ሞዴሉን ዴቨሎፕ ሲያደርግ የሱ እንትን ይኖራል ማለት ሞዴሉ ይሄ ኤግዛክት የሞዴሉ ሪዛልት ምናምን
ፋይናል ሞዴል ማለት ነው።
እሱን ሳይሆን just ሞዴሉን ዴቨሎፕ ለማድረግ የሰራህበት እንትን ምንድነው ስሙ ኮድ እና ኤረር ብሎግ ያደረክበት like ኤረር ፕሎት ይደረጋል ሜን ስኩዌር ኤረር any ኤረር if one score or confusion matrixን ከሰራህ እንደዛ
Okay.
So ለምሳሌ confusion matrix best way of explaining the results ስለሆነ እሱን መጠቀም ይቻላል ካልሆነም ደግሞ r squared ኤረር ነው ሚን r squared ኤረር ነው መጠቀም ይቻላል so በሱ ማስረዳት ነው ሪፖርትህ ላይ it should have to reflect ይሄንን at the same time ደግሞ ጊታብም ላይ እንደዛ ግን ይሄ በጆብሊ or በፒክል ፋይል ኤክስፖርት የተደረገው የሞዴሉ ሪዛልት ብዙም necessary አይደለም ለኛ
ኦኬ ጊታብ ላይ አሁን እንትን ሳምንት ስናደርግ
እሺ
አንድ ጊታብ ሪፖርት ክሬት እናደርጋለን በዛም ኢንተርሚንም በዛ ነው የምናስገባ ፋይናልን በዛ ነው የምናስገባ ግን ኢንተርሚን የሰራነው ለምሳሌ አሁን ፋይናል ላይ የሚጨመር ነገር ብዙ አለ ብዙ ኮንቴንቱን እንጨምራለን ግን ሲስተሙ ተመሳሳይነትን ነው የሚሰጠው እንዴት ነው
ኢንትሪም እና ፋይናል in principle ኢንትሪም እና ፋይናል ተመሳሳይ ኤክስፔክቴሽንም የለውም ተመሳሳይነትም አይኖራቸውም ምክንያቱም ለምንድነው ኢንትሪም ሲሆን አሪዮ መመለስ የምንፈልገውን ጥያቄ ብነግርህ አሪዮ ትራክ ቱ አንሰር at the final ይሄንን ቻሌንጅ እንጂ ኢንትሪም ሌላ እንትን የለውም
አሁን ታክስ 1 እና ባለፈው ታክስ 1 እና 2 ነበር ኢንተርሚን እና እናስገባው ግን ኮሜንት ላይ ነጥብ ይሰጣል ኮሜንት ላይ ለፋይናል የምናስገባ ነው ኮሜንት ማድረግ ይሄ ነገር ማስገባት አለበት ይሄ ነገር ይረዳል
እኮ ያ ምንድነው እንትኑ ኢንትሪም አድቫንቴጁ አሪዮ ትራክ ነው እንጂ ሌላ እንትን የለውም ፋይናል ላይ ሲመጣ ግን ፉል ታስክ ኢምፕሊሜንቴሽኑ ስለሚታይ ኢንቱ ኢንድ ነው የሚታየው ማለት ነው
Thank you.
እሺ ሌላ ጥያቄ ያለው ካለ ዴታ አይደለም ዴታ ቴክስት አይደለም በእንትን ፎርማት ነው ያለው ዚፕ ነው you can extract it
ዴታ ቴክስት ፎርማት ነው ያለው እሱ ወደ ኤክሴል ሲኤስቪ እንቀይራለን ወይስ በዛ እንነቀም እንችላለን በዚህ
ባመቻችሁ መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ
በቴክስት ፎርማት ማለት ነው
ቴክስት የለም ቴክስት ይታል ይሄ ነው ዴታው ዚፕ ፋይል ነው
ዚፕ ፋይል ነው ኤክስትራክት ስናደርግ በቴክስት ፎርማት ነው አንዱ መሰለኝ
መልቲፕል ዴታ ነው ያለው ቴክስት ሊኖር ይችላል
አንድ ዳታ ሴት ብቻ ነው ያለው መሰለኝ አንድ ዳታ ሴት ብቻ ነው ያለው
እዚህ ላይ ከፍተኛም ለዛ ነው
ማሽን ለርኒንግ ነው ማሽን ለርኒንግ ቪ3 ምናምን ነው አንድ ዳታ ሴት አለ ኤክስትራክት አድርጋለሁ እሱ ቲኤክስቲ ፎርማት ነው አለው መሰለኝ
ኦኬ
ፕሮፐርቲን ቼክ ስናደርግ ቲኤክስቲ ፎርማት ነው
እሺ አብል ቼክ የሚቀየር ነገር ካለ አፕዴት አደርጋችኋለሁ
አይ በዚህ ምን እንጠቀማለን እንጂ
እሺ ሌላ ጥያቄ ያለው አለ ወይስ ግልጽ ነው እሺ ካሳ
እሺ ሰላም ነው እንዴት ነሽ
እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን እንዴት ዋልክ
ማለት ምንድነው ትንሽ ግልጽ ነው ግን አሁን ይሄ ታስክ 1 አይ ቲንክ ጊት እና ጊታባችን ላይ ሴትአፕ የምናደርግበት እንትን ነው ታስክ 2 ላይ ይሄ ዳታ ቨርዥን ኮንትሮል የምንሰራበት መሰለኛል እሺ አይ ቲንክ ይሄ ዳታ ቨርዥን ኮንትሮል የሚባለው ማለት ምንድነው ራሱን የቻለ ቱል ነው ወይንስ አይ ሆፕ ነገ ከነገ ወዲያ ዲቴይል ነገሮች የምናገኝ ይመስለኛል ግን እንዲሁ ራፕ የሆነ እንትን ለማግኘት ያክል ነውና
እሺ
ዳታ ቨርዥን ኮንትሮል
ምንድነው መሰለ ዳታ ዲቪሲ ማለት ሲሚላር ቱል ዊዝ ጊታብ ነው። ያ ማለት ጊታብ ኮድ ነው ሶርሱን ኮንትሮል የሚያደርግልን ወይም ሶርስ ኮዳችንን ኮንትሮል ያደርጋል። ያ ማለት ለምሳሌ ዛሬ ፑሽ አድርገህ ከነበረ እና ነገ መልሰህ ቼክ ስታደርግ የሆነ አዲሽናል ነገር ጨምረህ ነው ፑሽ የምታደርገው። ከነገ ወዲያ ወይ አንዱን ልትቀንስ ትችላለህ ምናምን እና በዚህ ሁላ መደለስ ውስጥ አንዳንዴ ማጥፋት የነበረብህን ሳታጠፋ ማጥፋት የሌለብህን አጥፍተህ ሊሆን ይችላል ምናምን። እንደዛ አይነት ነገሮች ኢንኮንሲስተንሲዎች እንዳይፈጠሩ ወይም ሪቨርት ማድረግ እንድትችል የሚያስችልህ ነው ጊት። ደሴም ወይ ዴታም እንደዛው ነው። ዴታም ደግሞ ቨርዥን ኮንትሮል ያስፈልገዋል። ያ ማለት ዴታ ሳይንቲስቶች ኦር ማሽን ለርኒንግ ኢንጂነሮች ሲጠቀሙት ዳታ ሴታቸውን ማኔጅ ማድረግ መቻል አለባቸው፣ ሞዴል ፋይላቸውን ምናምና። ስለዚህ ለሱ ከትላልቅ ዴታ ሴቶች ጋር ሲሰራ ያስፈልጋል። ለምሳሌ የትኛውን ነው ሄደህ አፕዴት ያደረገው፣ ከየትኛው ነው ምን አይነት ፊቸር የወሰድከው፣ አንደኛው ፓይፕላይን ላይ ዲፔንደንሲ ያለው ወይ ለምሳሌ ዴታ ፕሪ ፕሮሰስ አድርገህ ምናምን ትሬኒንግ ስታደርግ የሆነ ሰርቴን ፖርሽን ውስጥ ዴታ ወሰድክ፣ እንደገና ደግሞ ሌላ ፓይፕላይን መጥቶ ያንኑ ሴም ፖርሽን ኦፍ ዴታ የሚጠቀማለን with the same portion of data plus additional ኮለመን የሚጠቀም ይኖራል። ስለዚህ የዚህን ጊዜ አንደኛ ትልልቅ ሲሆኑ ጊት ላይ መላክ ምናምን አስቸጋሪ ነው የሚሆነው። ሁለተኛ ደግሞ ይሄንን ኮምፕሌክሲቲ ማኔጅ ለማድረግ ሌላ ኦልተርኔቲቭ ያስፈልገናል። ያኛው ደግሞ ዴታ ቨርዥን ኮንትሮል ነው። አዲስ ቱል ነው ማለት ሪሰንትሊ ነው የመጣው ኦልሞስት ቅርብ ጊዜ። እሱ ያስፈልገናል። የስ ዴታ ቨርዥን ማድረግ፣ ፓይፕላይን ማኔጅ ማድረግ እና ሪሞት ስቶሬጅ ለምሳሌ ኤስ3 ላይ ኦር ጉግል ድራይቭ ላይ ኦር ሎካል ዳይሬክተሪ ላይ አስቀምጠህ ግን በሊንክ አክሰስ ማድረግ ብትፈልግ ይሄንን አላው ያደርግሃል። ፕላስ ከቲም ሜምበሮች ጋር መስራት ብትፈልግ እሱን አላው ያደርጋል። አድቫንቴጁ ይሄ የዲቪሲ። ሌላ አለ? ግልጽ ነው ሁሉም ላይክ ምን እንደምትሰሩ ጀነራል ኮንሰፕቱ Okay, እንደዛ ከሆነ let's wrap up it here እና ጥያቄም ምን ካለ just we can write on the Slack channel. Okay, that's good. Okay. ከቻሌንጅ ዶክመንቱን ማይታችሁት ከቻሌንጅ ዶክመንቱን ባሻገር ደግሞ ዴታውንም ኤክስፕሎር ማድረግ ስትጀምሩ መልቲፕል ኩዌስችኖች ሊኖሩ ስለሚችሉ ፎርዋርድ ያደርጓቸው። ሪሶርስን ሼር አድርጉ። ማለት ለምሳሌ እኔ የጠቀመኝ ቱል ምናምን ሪሶርስ ነገር ካለ ሪሶርስ ላይ ሼር ብታደርጉት ለሌላውም ይጠቅማል። ስለዚህ ኮላቦሬቲቭ ለርኒንግን ደግሞ ማስቻል እንችላለን። ማለት አንዱ ከአንዱ የሚማሩ ይበልጣል ከዚህ ዋን ፓይፕላይን ከሚሄደው በተሻለ ማለት ነው። እና እዛ ላይ ያገኛችሁትን ሪሶርስ ዩዝፉል ነው ብላችሁ የምታስቡት ካለ ሼር ብታደርጉ የተሻለ ነው። ሌላ በእኛ ሳይድ የምንለው ነገር የለም። So thank you everyone for joining, and we can wrap up it here. Let me stop the recording.